All right, folks. Welcome to another. I don't. Is this the last one? Will we do another one after the tournament? I'm gonna leave it up to you, Coach. If you want to do another Strong Kiracofe show,
same time, same place,
we'll do one. We'll do one all off season if you want to.
Yeah.
But, we're back again. As you can see, we're in Coach's office once again this week to talk about the last two matches of the season, a regular season, and then of course the conference tournament coming up this weekend there in Conway. But Coach, talk to me about these last two matches. Tough one, frustrating one in some ways on Thursday, but a nice bounce back and a quality win to close the season.
Yeah.
And we talked about it, senior day, all that sort of stuff that kind of goes into it. But I think moving in the right direction, the way you want to going into the conference tournament.
Yeah, it was a good way to end. Things started to click, and we were pretty happy with how we performed. UIW had been improving, all year, and they have a lot of physical talent. So, I mean, it definitely, despite their record, it was not an easy match. But, I thought we did a lot of good things, even when they started to kind of turn it on and get effective. Just really happy with how things played out on Saturday, and really happy for the seniors to go out with a win last time they play at Prather. Corpus was a frustrating match, but it was one of those odd ones where both teams played well, and it just didn't go our way in 3 sets. And a lot of that can be because of the way Corpus played. And the way that we have played all year is that once it hits 20 points, we become extremely efficient, and usually things go our way, and it just didn't. And it was just a bunch of different reasons in different situations that Corpus ended up winning those points. So I can both say it was a well-fought match, and it was a close one, even though it was an 0-3 match.
We talked about it a little bit last week. New players, new positions, kind of trying to find that rhythm or groove or however you want to call it with the new faces kind of on the floor that we've seen due to injuries and that sort of thing. But really felt like the last two matches, as opposed to the ones there in Sam Houston and HBU, seemingly finding their rhythm together on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, we had some disruptions, like you talked about, with some injuries and some health issues, and it disrupted some things a little bit, and I think we started to click here this last weekend.
Yeah. Talk about this season as a whole, and we mentioned it a little bit whenever we clinched the tournament spot, but picked 7th in the preseason poll. Obviously, you didn't agree with that. You knew what this team was capable of. I mean, do you feel like that they have met your expectations? Maybe not the ones that some other people have thought, but getting to this point, almost a 20-win season and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, this is exactly the way I thought it was going to play out. And I say that, I mean, every single year, myself and the assistants, we write out what we think the schedule is going to be, wins and losses, what our total record is going to be, what our conference record is going to be, and we're right on track. There was a match here and there that obviously isn't going to go your way, and so it's a little bit different than what we wrote down beforehand or before the season started, but we're right on track with where we thought we were. We thought that we would get second, and we're just one match away from doing that. I've been happy, and this is pretty much how I thought things were going to play out.
Yeah. And just specifically, and I've talked to you a bunch, so I don't remember if we talked about Lex or not last week. I think we did, but she was able to get 1,000 kills, 1,000 digs for her career. Like I said, the 4th player ever. Her and Stacy are among that group of elite company. So to see her do that, and even more so on senior day, it's pretty special for not only her, but for you as well.
That's definitely icing on the cake. And I'm very happy for her. I'm proud of her. We've talked about how much she means to every aspect of the game. For us to be successful, she has a hand in all that. But I mean, what she does is so spread out that it makes it difficult to get the recognition that necessarily that she deserves, because you don't have maybe the wow factors of getting maybe whatever it may be, 30 digs or 30 kills or whatever it is, because of her stat production is so spread out against a bunch of different skills. It's great that she got this recognition of 1,000 kills and 1,000 digs. Like you said, only 4 people in program history to do it, and that's what she's meant to us. So I'm glad that she was able to get that.
Moving into this week, conference tournament time, headed up to Conway, and kind of a crazy. We win the match on Saturday, and typically you know where your seeding is going to be after that with all the other ones. But with the way other things played out, literally came down to a coin flip on what seed we were going to get. Like, that is not a joke. But got the 3rd seed. Thoughts on that? Playing HBU, all that sort of stuff going into this weekend.
Happy with the matchup, even though we just lost to them, and it's going to be a good match. I know that, but I feel like we had a rough day in some areas of the game, and that will clean itself up, and I think that we match up well. But I mean, this conference, you take SFA out of it. I mean, there's a lot of parity. Anybody can beat anyone on a given day. And just, I've said this years, last year and the year before, that top 8, top 9, top 10 is just really good volleyball. I mean, you're going to have good matches, so it's entertaining. I lost track of what the second part of your question.
Well, the next question I was going to ask was, is there a challenge to, this is the 3rd time we've done to play Houston Baptist in the season, so I mean, obviously the split's always, when you play a team that many times in the same year, you really know each other well. What are the different challenges that poses in the biggest match now of the year? Maybe
it's just me, but when we were going into the last 2 weeks of the season, and it's teams that we have played before, but it seemed like it was years ago that we played them. So it really does not feel. It feels like it's the second match, and compared to the third. Again, that may just be me, but that first match was so long ago that it just seems like a quick rematch, rather than it being the 3rd time we play each other. So, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe HBU is like, okay, we got it dialed in. But I think it's, it's a little bit different than what you're talking about of a 3rd match.
Right. Gotcha. So, I guess, is that how you're approaching it as? You saw them just a handful of days ago.
Yeah.
Adjustments based on that match.
Yeah. It's a lot of focus on that match and what they did this last weekend and what we did well. The level of play that we did not reach that we were expecting when we saw them there in Houston, to, like I said, clean those things up and then just provide a different wrinkle here and there and see what we can do.
Yeah. And maybe that's something that probably doesn't affect volleyball as maybe in other sports, but obviously if you advance through to the championship game, it's match on Friday, match on Saturday, match on Sunday, which, you play 2 matches in a day earlier in the season, that sort of stuff. But is there any different approach because of that potential of back-to-back-to-back matches, or is it just business as usual?
A little of both. That's where, experience really comes into play. And, if you have a young team and you get hot on that first day, but they can't absorb a scout into that second day, they can struggle. Whereas if you have some experience, you go from day to day and you can say, okay, you throw out a quick scout and they can absorb that immediately because they have experience doing it. That's when, it can matter. I don't know. It's not the best situation, but tournaments are fun because of that, and crazy things can happen. So it's definitely entertaining, but from a coach's standpoint, we'd love a little bit more time to prepare and to be able to prepare your team.
Well, it's definitely, and like you mentioned, a lot of parity in the league in general, especially this year. There's 4, 5, 6 teams that can go ahead and win the whole thing. Obviously, HBU is the first on the list, but I know you have your eye maybe on a potential second round with Sam Houston as well. So.
Definitely looking forward to that matchup, but I mean, you gotta say, Southeastern and Sam just went to 5 just last weekend. That is going to be an amazing matchup to see again, to see if that is a continuation of that match or how that plays out. How given the week to have both teams prepare if it looks a little bit different. But that's going to be a fun match to watch.
All right, Coach. We'll appreciate you, and obviously best of luck there in Conway, and let's come back with a championship.
All right, thank you.